Alright, hey everybody, and welcome to Chew Stream, where we talk about art and life as an artist. I should really call this the 90-minute art challenge because that's what it is. It's the 90-minute art challenge number 17 with me, Bobby Chew, and Masay Seki. Hey Masay, how's it going?
Hi, Bobby. It's good. Monday. Good start to
Yes.
the week.
And today, this is our challenge for today. This
Ooh.
one is complex. And before we get into things, I just want to do a little bit of, what's it called? A little bit of housekeeping, all right? So, what is this program? This program is, it's called Magma. It's absolutely free to try out right now. Okay, magmastudio.io. Now, what's so special about this program? Well, you can see that Masay and I are actually painting and drawing together on the exact same document. How about that? It just makes it so much more motivational, so much more effective. When you're painting with somebody else, you can pick up on what they do and learn from it, and vice versa. And you can see that I'm on the left, Masay is on the right. Also, you can upload your your 90-minute art challenge to Instagram. Hashtag 90-minute art challenge, and we will show our favorites every week. I'll show some right after this. You can also get the image at Tumblr. Here, let me just do this. Let me share my screen 1 second here. Okay. So there we
Mm.
go. Here's Tumblr, okay, and it's tumblr.com/blog/slash 90-minute art challenge. And you can see that we have all the different art challenges here. You can download them here. And then when you're done, you can upload them to Instagram, hashtag 90-minute art challenge, and they'll pop right up. Look at this one. Jesus, this is so good. I know we
That
talked
was
about this before, but
yeah.
Fernando, jeez, take it easy, Fernando. So good. All right, you know what? There are so many good ones. Look at these ones. Wow, it's like so different, and
Oh,
yeah,
I
that's what it's
love
all about.
those.
Getting
Hmm.
inspired in whatever way you want, right? And it's 90 minutes, so it's very doable. We do this twice a week right now. Every Mondays and Thursdays, book off the time, come draw with us. Here's the first one I want to show you. Look at this one from France. Whoa, holy smokes,
That's
awesome.
so good. The fur looks really good.
Here we go. Tanny, Fanny,
Mm.
fantastic. That's the last one before the fuzzy one.
Mhm.
Um, This one, also inspired by
Oh,
that
that's neat.
image, right? Change the idea. This
Oh,
one.
that's really cool.
This one. Look at this one. Looks so
Uh,
photoreal. Really, really
The
nice.
lighting's really nice.
Yeah, and look at the rest. Like, I think this person deserves a follow. Boom, follow. All right, let's go on to the next one. Chandler. Oh, CJ. Oh my goodness. Yep, yep. I
Oh,
remember seeing this one. Remember?
yeah.
CJ
That's
did
so
this
good.
live with all those incredible, awesome artists on Discord, and I'll talk
Mhm.
about Discord in a second. Hiri, Hiri's kind of
Ooh.
a heavyweight amongst the 90-minute art challenges. I've seen his stuff quite a lot. Definitely deserved a shout out. Natalia,
Oh, that was
that's
so
so
cute.
adorable.
It's so huggable.
Yes. Uh, this one was really cool. So
Wow.
this is not done traditionally. It's a
Oh, okay,
trick.
okay.
It's not a trick, but I believe in realistic paint studio, when you do something, you have these templates that you could put the thing on so that it looks real.
Well, I definitely fell for it.
It's fun. It's
Either way,
fun.
it looks great.
I haven't tried out the app myself. Now this is going back a bit, but this is a
Mhm.
really wonderful challenge. Holy smokes, that one's another great one. All right.
Mhm.
And I wanted to also pop up Discord. So we have the Discord thing going on as well. And yeah, lots of things going on. Let's get back to the challenge. So you can see that Discord, there's the link right there to Discord. And I'm going to also share my screen for those in Discord, so you can see real time what's going on. All right.
And if you want to mention if anyone has any questions.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Masay.
No
So,
problem.
questions, you can go to slido.com, #ChooStream. You can see it just underneath the Discord thing on the bottom of the screen. And the last thing of all, which might be the most useful thing of all, which is Schoolism. If you get a subscription to Schoolism, not only is it less than $30 a month, just slightly less than $30 a month, but it's pretty much all the education you need, because you get to access all of the courses on Schoolism, over 35 courses. And it's taught by not just instructors, but professionals that work on the stuff that you probably want to work on. So you'd be learning classes from me, from Craig Mullins, from Jamila Knopf, from Tara Whitlatch, from Victoria Ying, from all sorts of incredible high-level, Ian McKeag, oh my gosh.
Yeah, the list goes on and on.
It really, really does. And if you think about it, in college, my books were way more than $30. So but true. If that doesn't push you over the edge there to pull the trigger, for this stream only, for the duration of this live stream, I want to do these fun different things. I won't be doing this next time, but for this time, there's a promo code. If you use the promo code ChooStream10 during this stream, it will expire in about 90 minutes or 83 minutes. You can save 10%. So it gets even cheaper. And you can utilize that on schoolism.com. All right, so why don't we get into it now? Let's talk about this painting and drawing here. We went about it very differently right in the begining. I don't know if you saw.
Yeah. You went pretty bold with your drawing in the very beginning.
I did. This one, I wanted to approach this in a slightly different way, which is I wanted to approach it much more in an abstract way. Kind of like, let's look at this like an alien. It helps.
So everything is just like fresh shapes, like you're all you're looking at is shapes and not facial features or hands or anything like that, right?
Yeah, shapes, relationships, tension, relaxation, compression, like those kind of things. That's what I was doing.
I think when I approached it, I just again started with the drawing, trying to get the proportions right, figuring out where things are. And definitely putting a dark background does help establish the whole mood.
You went very dark.
Yeah, I did. Now that I look back, I might have lightened it later on, but it's like what you teach in your class. The whole concept of imagine looking into a dark space and all you see is like a faint figure and you can't really make out what it is, but you kind of can. So that's kind of like what I do a lot in these studies.
Right on. Well, it definitely works. Your stuff is awesome. It's always amazing. The thing I really wanted to do differently with this one, and I've been pushing for that ever since, is usually how a lot of artists we tend to do things is we would block in with this color, and then let me apply this one pass with this other color and another pass with another color and so on and so forth. In this one, I just wanted to go, like I said, more abstract. I wasn't
Mm-hmm.
trying to save colors so that I could come back to it. I was just going from place to place and going, okay, what's happening in this place? And how would light change in this place? Just like, or the colors or whatever. So, like the window, it's a lot of different colors I've been putting in there, right? Just
Mm-hmm.
very,
Mm-hmm.
very quickly. I didn't block it in with just a dark tone, in other words.
Yeah.
And I approached the face and the rest of the body the exact same way because there's so many little nuances there. There's so many little bits and pieces of like different colors. Like the
Mm-hmm.
fingernail. People that did this.
Yeah.
Dude has a weird red fingernail, right? And he's got little
Yeah.
scratches on his arm and stuff like that. So, I didn't want to do it that clean. That was the idea. I didn't want to
Mm.
do just one pass, one color.
Mm-hmm. It definitely like captures the whole like essence of the photo as well. Like the kind of like a rough, grungy-ish feel.
And
Like approaching
sometimes,
it that way.
like, don't you love those paintings sometimes where it just looks like a big pile of mess and somehow they ended up um, kind of crystallizing a finished looking thing amongst the
Yeah.
mess?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. It's like it shows the effortlessness, but also like a lot of thought that they put into it. Because I mean, the result is amazing. You can tell what it is, but if you look at it closely, it's just, all this like paint brushstrokes.
Richard Schmidt, that's what comes to mind right away when I think
Mm,
about going from chaos to like these beautifully refined, rendered things.
yeah.
Zach
Do
Retz does
you,
a bit of it too, right?
mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Zach and his brother Tad
yeah.
Ritz as well. Very loose, but you can totally make out what they're trying to say in their paintings.
I don't know if you were there. Were you there for any of when Zach Retz was painting with us on Magma during Lightbox? Because he
No,
was
I did not see
so
that.
abstract.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And
he.
he,
Go ahead.
yeah, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. It's fine.
I was just about to say, he paints with one layer majority of the time.
Dude got out the pencil tool, which is very harsh. It's just a
Yeah,
cube, right? It's just a
yeah.
square, and it's high, high, high density. It's like it's binary. It's either completely just opaque or nothing. Every pixel.
Mm,
Right? So that was really
yeah,
neat. That was really neat to see him go so chaotic and like it was on purpose practically, It's like
yeah.
I will purposely just mess things up and then I'll clean things up.
Did you keep using the pen tool or the pencil tool like
Uh
throughout the whole time?
I forget. I forget. I was moderating, so
Oh. Yeah, I that's a really cool approach too because it's kind of like you get straight to the point, but you also have to like think about um the value and the relationship between, color, value, and all that because it creates such a harsh um line, but you also want it sometimes you want to make it like a subtle um sorry, I'm trying to more Monday mornings. Um, it's
trust
like
me.
trying to think. It's like trying to understand how to utilize that well enough so that it doesn't look too like contrasted, like, but he still makes it work well together.
It kind of reminds me of some comedians. They will purposely say something absolutely insane. Like, actually, the comedian I'm thinking of is Bill Burr. I don't know if you ever heard his stuff, but he will say the absolutely most insane thing, and then everybody hates him, and then he starts coming back. He starts coming back until you love him, and it's almost like he does it as a challenge.
Yeah, yeah.
It's great. Um, Yeah, so here you can see me going straight into that shirt. I definitely remember was going through my head. I was like, I'm wasting too much time on the background. I have zero figure in here.
Hmm.
And I looked over at yours and I was like, man, she's got a lot of the figure. I better get back on that figure.
But I think the way I like the way you approach it because then it's easier to pick what kind of flesh tone and like hat tone and shirt color to grab. Because it's definitely hard to try to find the right colors for the figure when there isn't really
Oh,
when
the
you don't really
background and stuff.
establish the background. Yeah.
Mm,
So I think I
interesting.
like that. Yeah, I kind of liked your approach. And then, that's when I obviously copied what you did.
Hey, it's cool. It's cool. This isn't really my approach either. I'm trying to do something new and something that I don't usually do, right? But I
Mhm.
liked it. I felt like this one was a slight kind of game changer for me.
Mm, that's good. Yeah, when I saw this reference photo, the reason why I chose this was because of um like the face was just pretty much covered in shadowed and all you can see is a faint like outline of the eyes. And when you look
Yeah.
at it closer, you do see that his eyes do go two different ways. And then just like the subtle like hue in his skin tone, and then I just love the way the cigarette pops out like from his hands and like that little hat logo.
I like how the ash, it looks like it's just about to fall, but he doesn't care. He's just smoking that thing.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, the other thing I liked about this is like you could see the drawing, the super loose drawing I did in the beginning was the only drawing I did, which I felt kind of
Mm-hmm.
proud about. You know, usually I would go a little bit more in depth with the drawing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I was just thinking about like how Jonathan Hardesty does his paintings a lot of times, or like, you know, certain painters would pretty much they don't do a lot of the drawing, right? They
Yeah.
keep pushing around the paint until it's just right. And that's what I want to do with
Mhm.
this. And
Yeah,
I
I
wouldn't
think I'll
have
have
done
to
that
try
either if you didn't pick such a freaking hard subject, Miss A. This was a really good one.
that. Thanks. Yeah, try to find something new every week. I hope everyone else likes this study as well.
Yeah, you know, like the thing about this is you don't necessarily have to do the full photo. We're not doing the full
Mhm.
photo,
Mhm.
right? You could just do a hand. You could just do the hat. You could do whatever you want. You could do something inspired by, you know?
Mhm. Mhm. And I just really like the way his hand is positioned as well. Like how his fingers are the only part that are like lit up and then everything else kind of like falls into darkness.
Yes. And I like how the
Yeah.
skin wraps around the fingers when you really
Yeah.
look close.
So it was good. I learned a lot from just like painting the hands and understanding how form, you know, how the form works and how lighting affects that.
That bone that sticks out where the wrist is, that was weird, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was like, oh wow, it's really protruding.
It's really bright.
Hmm.
That was the weird part for me.
Hmm.
Anyhow, we have a lot of questions. And again, slido.com, hashtag ChooStream. You can ask your questions there. We also have our people in Discord. You guys could feel free to join in the conversation here as well. Uh, feel free. But we're going to go to a question first. Okay, so this question comes from Weena. That's how she spells it, or he spells it.
Yeah.
Would there be 90-minute challenge of food drawings? So far, only creatures and persons.
Oh, that's a good suggestion.
Yeah, that's a great suggestion.
Yeah.
Masay is the one that has been choosing the challenges, so um, I guess it's up to Masay. But
Yeah. Okay, I'll have to look into it. Definitely something that's not gonna make us too hungry while we're painting.
I've been
But
watching a lot of Korean street food YouTube videos lately.
oh, I love Korean food. So good.
Yeah, but then like the street food, it's like that doesn't. I feel like I need to have it there. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
If I find a version here in some restaurant, it's not gonna be the same.
Yeah. Oh, I know. It's like one of those shows where like the people they actually go there, they talk about the food, they show the food, and it's like yeah, you can like especially in Toronto, since we're so diverse, we do have like different cultures and we can pretty much have any type of dish over here. It's just not the same though, like the whole authentic you know,
Yeah. Well,
cultural food.
and there's certain ingredients and things like that
Mm-hmm.
harder to get here.
Yeah. But definitely a food drawing challenge would be interesting because of the different textures that we don't normally paint, I'm guessing. I mean, you worked on projects such as like that involve food, so
Oh yeah,
it
the
it
Alice in Wonderland. There was Alice in Wonderland with the vegetable soldiers, and there was
yeah.
Candyland. That was all sorts of different kinds of candies. That movie never came out, but we did a heck of a lot
Mhm.
of paintings for that.
Yeah, it looks so good. So did you do studies of like food when you did those paintings?
No, we just went right into it. We just found
Mm,
various pictures. The hard part about that is okay, you're designing the food and you're designing the people and you're designing what kind of food makes up what part of the person. And then you have to think, because like I would hand it in, and then the director on that project was Kevin Lima. He directed
mm,
Tarzan. And he was like, yeah, but these foods they don't go together. It wouldn't taste good. And I was like, oh, dang. Okay, this is gonna be real
this was like
challenging.
the Candyland one?
Yeah, because it's
That's
like,
so funny.
yeah, he's like, you can't put these together. That wouldn't make sense. This
Yeah.
character wouldn't taste good. I was like, wow, yeah, that gets very, very challenging.
Uh-huh. I like the way I like how he thought of that. It's like if you were to eat this, would it make sense?
Yes, love Kevin. He's so brilliant, but also he pushes you. You know, he
Hmm.
pushes you to get your potential out, which I really appreciate.
Yeah.
Um, in a way that I appreciate a tough trainer, you know?
Mm-hmm. He knows when to push you and he knows your potential.
Yeah, yeah. And he's a great designer too. He designed Ursula from The Little Mermaid.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, he designed Flounder from The Little Mermaid.
Oh,
That's
I
pretty
did not
cool.
know that. That is really cool.
Yeah.
Really very memorable characters for sure.
So yours is extremely clean right now, right?
Yeah.
That's how I
Maybe
usually
it.
paint, though. That's how I usually paint.
Hmm.
I just found like I did get to skip some steps because I was like not trying to block in as much.
Hmm. I think especially for studies like this, it's nice to like approach it in a different way. I think I might do that next time because this is the way I normally paint. Like
Hmm.
do the drawing, do the block in, and then add in all the values. Um, so I didn't get to focus on certain parts that I really wanted to because I was noodling around with the drawing and the block in.
Yeah, oh shoot, what was I gonna I forgot what I was gonna say exactly, but uh yeah, it just slipped right out of my head. Slipped right out of my
Funny.
head.
I'm sure it'll come back.
Well, oh, I was gonna say, yes, you could do it this way. Uh, I was a little nervous. I was a little nervous, Masay. I gotta tell you, because I wasn't used to this painting method.
Mm,
Um, and because I wasn't used to it, and I'm just kind of like doing a lot more varieties of colors at once instead of
mhm,
doing it very clean like how you're doing it. It
mm.
felt like I was like driving one of those Flintstone cars with my feet and holding together the car at the same time. Like that's how it felt to me. Like I was just barely holding on.
Yeah, yeah. It's like trying to move, but trying to hold it at the same time.
Yeah, but I really did appreciate it. I've been attempting this more and more.
Mm,
Uh, yeah, it's
paintings would be
fascinating
good.
trying it
Yeah.
this way. Um, Here's another question, okay? And you could keep the questions coming from in slido.com hashtag ChewStream. This question is from Anonymous. Anonymous asks, sometimes studying basic things such as basic form, anatomy, could get less fun and boring. How to keep consistent on studying and having fun? Masay, you want to chime in? Or any of the Discord people as well,
Yeah.
how do
Um,
you deal with boring stuff?
I think like a good example would be taking our 90-minute art challenge, doing the study, and then after you learn the lighting, the form a bit more, applying that to your own painting. So you can take the same background but do like a new character. And so for the question, for this example, if you're doing anatomy, try to create something that's your own based on what you learn from the study. So I think bringing that part of the creativity um, would make it a bit more fun, is what I would say.
Yeah, and you could always join in on the Discord, and then you can actually paint with everybody else. Check this out. Look at so everybody is doing their own studies here. So cool.
Nice.
This one's Kofi's, I think. You put tattoos on the dude. A different angle. Very, very challenging way to go. That's awesome.
Yeah, we really like the 90 minutes here on Discord.
Yeah, you guys
and
are doing great. It's really
yeah,
cool to see.
and we all, yeah, like people of all countries are coming together and have fun stories while painting, and that makes it interesting. And yeah, and also see the other person draw really motivates me.
Nice. Build up your network at the same time, find like minded people. And by the way, if anybody would like to kind of share where they're from, I'd love to give some shout outs to everybody in YouTube chat there. But yeah, this one is a difficult one, I gotta say. But I appreciate it at the same time, you know.
Hmm.
Now, the next one, has that one been posted yet, Miss A?
Uh,
Because the next one gets very close to Halloween.
yes, it is posted. It's on Tumblr.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, Lovecraft County. Is it county
Yeah,
or country? I forget. But all
I think
right,
it's
some big shouts out. All right, we got people coming in from Israel, India, Estonia, Ghana, Malaysia. Uh, Slow down a bit, but oh, here we go. Macedonia, UK,
USA
USA.
from everywhere.
Wonderful.
Wow, must be pretty late for like some people, depending on
Yeah.
where they are.
or early.
Or super early.
Yeah, West Coast, you know, people gotta get up at 6:30 in the morning to come join us for the 90-minute art challenge.
Gotta be early birds.
Yes. Also, Masay, we were just talking about Wouter Tulp's artist workout.
Mm-hmm.
Let's try to do that in the
Mm,
future as well. Uh,
yeah.
that one I'm very interested in. If you look up the hashtags, you can see a lot of really cool assignments, but
Mm-hmm.
also the way that he teaches, very, very interesting.
Yeah. His Waters content is great. And he breaks it down really, you know, really well, easy to understand, which is the best part.
Anybody in the Discord taking any courses currently that they want to talk about?
Hello, Bobby.
Hi.
Hi, Kofi.
Yeah. For myself, I'm taking Victor Kalvashev's course on drawing people with Victor Kalvashev, and it's really been helping a lot in terms of like anatomy and gesture, as well as rendering of like the human body as well. So that's what I've been taking recently.
That is on my list. I need to. There's currently there's a big backlog for me. There's so many I need to take. But
Too
say you
many
took
good
that
ones.
one.
I did. I watched all his videos, and I normally when I take these courses, I watch the video first, take notes, and then I do it again, and then I do the assignments. So I haven't gotten around to actually doing the assignments yet, but everything I learned, I'm just like so mind blown. It's his approach, his like way of thinking about the figure is just very different from what I learned, especially in school. And it makes a lot more sense because he doesn't necessarily go into anatomy too much, and he talks about more of like the flow and feel of how a figure's supposed to look. And yeah, so it's just I think it's like such a amazing course. I wish I had this back in school so that my figure drawings could be like 10 times better.
Yeah, that one's big time on the list.
Hmm.
Wouter Tulp's course, uh, all his courses. I started his first one, went halfway through, and then I think I jumped onto something else. But yeah, I need to kind of refine my schedule again. That's what I need to do.
Hmm.
I was focused until Kofi started mentioning Victor Kalvachev's course. I was focused on like, okay, I'm gonna do Wouter's workout. Now I'm
It's
thinking
like you
about
want all
others.
this stuff, you want to do all these things. It's just too much good content.
Yeah, yeah, and that actually somewhat relates to Anonymous's question about how do you kind of stay consistent on studying and having fun. Uh, I really feel like many of us, the artists that really do well, generally we find a way to love boring things. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? Like we appreciate a lot of things that others might find boring.
Mm.
Like you're all excited about a hand smoking a ugly looking cigarette, you know?
Yeah.
Like you're excited about painting this guy. And I was excited about painting this guy, which normal
Mhm.
people would probably not be excited.
Mm. I I guess for me, the whole hand thing, because I wanted to learn more about the form and how the light will, like, when it touches like certain areas. Um, Knowing that I can apply, once I learned that, I can apply it to so many other things, like just a full figure body, like the feet, things I want to like invent in my head. So I think that's why I like little mundane things like that. It's because like I know I can take it and run with it and do other things.
Mm, That's a great way to look at it. You know, when people think that one person that suggested, oh, can we do some food, life, you know, still lifes or something like that. I forget exactly what the person was saying, but
Mhm.
not, you know, not figures, not animals.
Mhm.
Some people, like if it's a bowl of fruit, that's like the kind of shit my dad always wishes that I would paint. Can't you just paint a nice bowl of fruit or like some nice flowers? No, Dad, I don't want to paint no freaking fruit. Uh, oh, some people are saying that the stream is going a little, it's laggy.
Oh,
Hey, let's say, how about we hop off of Zoom? That might
okay.
help a bit.
Sounds good.
Okay. Hold on, everybody. All right, we'll kill Zoom. And I think that should make everything run a lot faster.
Yeah.
Thanks
I guess
for
I'll.
letting me know, everybody. Also, now is probably a good time to apologize for last week. Last week we had streamed for 90 minutes. We did the whole
Yeah,
thing.
we
I
didn't
don't know what
cheat.
happened.
Yeah, it might have been the some processing error on the YouTube side when I was uploading our live stream.
Might have been too many little doohickeys that I opened up and running at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully this
But
will make things a little bit better.
yeah.
Let me know in the comments if it has. Okay, and let's see here. Wow, I'm just looking at the painting now, and it looks like you caught up and then went right past me. You know, your tones are a lot more, um, you know, fleshed out, accurate. My tones in the face and everything are very still low contrast.
But I see the subtleties in the redness in the cheek and like the hand. And
Yeah.
I like how you were able to put the lines down on the apron.
Oh, thanks. That was
It
just
looks like you're like way ahead of me because of that like small detail.
really? Oh my gosh, I didn't think
Yeah.
so at all. Yeah, that honest, like really, that was one of the coolest things about just using Magma now is just being able to kind of compare, and we're not comparing in like a competitive, like oh I'm gonna get you, I'm gonna beat you kind of way, right? It's just
Mm-hmm.
comparing. Oh, you decide to do that, and I decide to
Mm-hmm.
do this,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it's been really really awesome, really really beneficial. And you could tell it's like it's helping people stay motivated in Discord as well.
Yeah, like when everyone draws together.
Definitely.
It's like being in school again, having that whiteboard and everyone draws on the same thing. But with Magma, it's like you get to do color and you get to do adjust or I guess different types of brushes.
Everybody's saying that, or people are saying that the lag is gone. It must have been Zoom.
Oh, that's good.
All right. I guess next time we'll just pop in Zoom then, or pop in Discord. Like,
Mm-hmm.
probably don't use Zoom anymore.
Yeah, I guess the only difference would be we just don't see our beautiful faces.
Yes. That's good. I won't need to put on any makeup in the morning.
Yeah, me too. Now I could just like lounge around and chat.
Save me a few minutes.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, you know what also has been fun is
What's that?
like when we meet up on Discord and we actually don't meet up with any sound. That's been nice too, you know? I don't know how
Mhm.
you feel about that. It's just like way less pressure. You know what I mean? Like you don't put on the video, you don't link up the sound, and you just
Mhm.
paint with the chat.
Mm, yeah, that's true. It's kind of like it's like when we were back in the studio. It's like I know you were in your room and I was in my room, but we were both painting, but we weren't talking to each other necessarily, but we knew that both of us were like working
There.
hard.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So it's
Like
that kind of
when we're especially when we're doing late hours,
yeah,
right? And it's like maybe it's just you and me there at the studio at that point, right?
yeah, yeah. Kay's usually in the same room as me, but like she's always working really hard, so like
Yeah.
we don't talk most of the time, but
Yeah.
it's like we know we're both working hard.
That's that's how I notice like how some people like to hang out, right? It's like you ever walk into a gathering of people and they're all sitting there not looking at each other, just on their phones, on their Nintendo DS, whatever it is, and it's kind of like they're hanging out without hanging out.
Mm, hmm.
There's something
Yeah,
comforting about that.
yeah, that's true. And then I guess it's like I do that sometimes with my friends too, where we go over to their place, like we're hanging out. There's times when, like, obviously we're talking, but then there's also times when we're all just like on our phone. But we're comfortable enough to do that, to not feel like we're being rude or anything. It's just that company. Having that company is really nice.
Yeah. Hey, we got a question here. Yuchi asks, "Hi Bobby, how do you get such nice coworkers who also motivate and inspire you? How do we find these people in college, work, who can grow with us as an artist?" Well, shoot. It's not easy. Yeah.
Um,
I really give it up to Masei just being a good person, and us being lucky enough to think about, yeah, Masei should be here with us. So thanks,
yeah.
Masei.
Oh, thank you. I think, you know what, thinking back in college, um, you know what, it's finding like-minded people and just like trying to look for them. That's what's I feel like that's how you find those people to grow together as an artist because I had friends who were like they're amazing friends, but they just didn't have the same drive and motivation.
Hmm.
So like I love having them around, but I never really like talk to them about certain things that I know they wouldn't be too interested in. So I would reserve that for people that would have the same mindset. Then I could like, we would motivate each other, fuel each other by meeting up and talking about those things. So I guess it's just like finding the people who want to do the same thing as you.
That's awesome. And when you are getting to know people in college, it's like you're all on the same playing field kind of thing, more or less. Some people are kind of seen as a little bit higher than other people, but essentially you all don't have jobs. You're all starting from, level 1, level 0. And so there's there's more honesty with the interactions. As you get out there and you start to either do good or do bad, then people tend to treat you differently. Hopefully they don't, but
Mm,
it is natural for people to do that. Like, oh, that person did that thing that I really liked. I like this person more now, even though I don't know this person at all. Or
mm,
that person is in charge of this. Oh, I really want to be the person's friend. Hopefully I'll work on one of his or her projects. That's the worst. Um, but yeah, when you're in college and you're just coming up, that's the point. If you become very successful, that's pretty much one of the only points where you can more or less trust that people have a genuineness about them when meeting you.
Mm-hmm.
Not like that can't happen afterwards, but it's definitely
Yeah.
harder.
Yeah. Or else it'll come off as like, what do you want? Why are you talking to me?
Yes, yes. And I know, like, we won't name any names, but you've had experience with that, Masae, where somebody that you knew from school, contacted you and out of nowhere kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Second sentence is, "Hey, I heard you're working at Imaginism Studios," or something like that. Remember?
Yeah, it's a weird feeling for sure.
Yeah, and
Like,
that person ended up giving us the impression like you guys were good friends.
yeah, yeah. Oh, okay.
You know who I'm
Yes,
talking about.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
we gotta
And those
watch out for those things. Those things happen.
yeah, and I guess like I wanted, even though I didn't really know that person too well, I wanted to give them a chance, or more like I want to be, I guess essentially a good person and like refer them, but yeah, in the end, anyways.
Yeah, but also it's like, hey, if you were never like that, if we were
Mhm,
never like the way that we are, kind of trying to always welcome people with open arms, so to
mhm,
speak,
mhm.
then we would never have met all the awesome people that we've met.
That's true. Yeah.
And something that sometimes people do is like they get hurt, they get kind of taken advantage of a couple times or something like that, and then they start closing up big time, locking it down,
Mhm,
you know?
mhm,
But if you don't have an open heart, then nobody else can come in. No other good people can come in.
yeah. Yeah. Have an open heart.
The other thing I want to mention is like attracting people, attracting like minded people or people that are very much aligned with your goals or your objectives. Um, when you have a purpose, right? If you have a really good purpose and you stand by it, that's when something happens, something really special happens.
Mm,
Uh, Especially when you show that undying drive to achieve that goal, all sorts of people come out of the woodwork and start helping you. Um, if you're at that level, if you're
mhm,
just kind of, sort of trying, just kind of, it
mhm,
doesn't happen. It doesn't happen.
mhm.
Like
Um,
Lightbox, that was the big one for me. It's like I want to put on this event. I want it to be the biggest freaking event of its kind in the planet, right?
right.
And then everybody started coming out, helping out.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yeah, I think also to I guess to attract people is like you yeah, you definitely just have to show your passion for it, like how much you want this, and then other people, like you said, would come out and help you out. So to if you're in college or work and to find people, I think it's also important to reach out to people and tell them like genuinely like what you're interested in what they're doing, and then that might come back, and then that could like start this whole new relationship where you guys can grow as an artist.
Now, Lisa Schmidt has asked this question twice. I have Schoolism, but can't I not use it after a year? So it depends on how long your subscription is. If you bought a 1 year subscription, then after a year, you wouldn't have that subscription again. You would want to renew that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you got a monthly subscription, then it just renews automatically. It shouldn't be a problem unless your credit card or something expired.
Mm-hmm.
However, I do want to mention the promo code. If you are thinking about taking Schoolism, subscribing to Schoolism courses, use the promo code ChewStream10 today, right now, for this
Oh,
stream,
yeah.
because it expires when this stream is over.
Yep. I think we
Okay.
have 40 minutes left.
Oh, yeah, 40 minutes left. You get literally access to every Schoolism course, as well as any new courses that we bring on. You get access to those too, and you could use that promo code to buy an entire year and get the discount on the entire year as well.
So good. It's like an early Christmas present to yourself.
Are people saying that it's lagging again? Oh my gosh. Are you serious? Alright, you know what? I'll stop sharing my screen on Discord. Maybe that'll loosen it up a bit.
Yeah.
Alright, so trying to figure this out, everybody. Let's go on to the next question here. So Anonymous asks, sometimes studying basic things such as basic form, anatomy could get less fun and boring. How to keep consistent on studying and having fun. I think we answered that actually.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, let's talk about some things here. All right. Here's kind of like a topic. How does I want to talk a little bit about failure. You know, what kind of failures you don't look as failures that push you forward? How do we deal with failures? How do you deal with failures? How do you think about failures? Yeah, how do you kind of deal with them? Because you know, us as artists, shoot, it's like for the first bunch of years, we're failing every time we put pencil to paper.
Yeah. Yeah, failure is hard, especially with art, because it's really easy for artists to take things personally. But it's like a constant battle between yourself and your art. For me, I think I try to see. I mean, it's very cliche, but I try to see failure as a learning experience. Every time I feel like I did something wrong, it's just another reason for me to do better the next time. I guess having that mindset does help to keep pushing you forward, because if you just keep seeing failure as like, oh, I failed, you're not going to really go anywhere. You're just putting yourself down. And I guess like you're the only one who's holding yourself back.
For sure. Isn't it like, you know, it's something about when that person was like, how do you attract these kind of people or whatever? One of the real kind of golden nuggets is like seeing how somebody deals with failure. For me, right? Like I want to see. I'm not looking for Miss or Mr. Perfect. I'm looking for the person that knows how to deal with failure. You know, does it push them forward? Right? Because like how you deal with that failure, like you have explained, it will determine how skillful you'll become. Like you look at it like, oh, I failed, you know, and that's it. I'm no good at this. Then you're not going to be good at anything.
It's like, I feel like it's much more satisfying. Well, personally, I find it more satisfying to fail and then succeed later than to just, you know, succeed from the beginning. Because then it's like, you feel more proud of yourself, you feel more confident. It's like, you know, getting all this like dirt and mud on yourself and then coming out like this shiny pro that was hiding under you all along. It's like, you know, it's just like confidence booster for sure.
There's a certain kind of feeling that you get when you go through hardships and you succeed.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's like so, I don't know if you could get that feeling anywhere else. It's like
Mm-hmm.
that's why people climb mountains, or yeah, you climb rocks and stuff, so I guess that makes sense too, right?
Yeah.
When you've been trying to get up that route that you've been trying for like 2 weeks or something, failing
Yeah.
every time,
Yeah.
and then you finally do it, like you're just like, yep, that that's way better than kind of buying the abilities or something like that.
hmm I guess anyone who climbs, they might know this feeling, but so when I go to a climbing gym, I try to climb all the things that I'm able to. And then even though it's fun to finish, like to finish a climb, it's not, there's like nothing that is like satisfying you yet until you find a problem where you see it, you climb it, you fail, but you know you can get it. You just need to figure out how to solve it in your own way. And then just like being able to have something that you can keep working on is like, I think that's the whole process itself is the most fun instead of like the actual results. So it's like kind of like the same as painting. It's like the process of getting there, it sucks, but I think I have the most fun because I'm challenging myself.
Do you ever have a situation where you're just like depressed and you can't even put your pen to paper? Have you ever gone through like a stage like that?
Mhm. Yeah, definitely. Not too long ago, I guess during this whole quarantine,
Oh
there was
yeah.
a time, yeah, when I just felt like I didn't want to pick up the paper. I didn't know what to do. Like nothing, like anything I was producing, I just hated.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yes. Speaking of
yeah,
failures and difficulties, there still seems to be a little bit of a lag for some people on uh, YouTube. So I think, yeah, we'll rethink this a little bit in the future. Maybe we
yeah.
might need to go back to Zoom, and then we could just pop in Discord, say hi, look at some stuff, and then pop out. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but
Yeah,
you
I'll
know,
figure it out.
failure's not failure. It's just a little
Yeah,
like, okay, that didn't work.
yeah. But during that time when I was like pretty down and upset, I think it gave me a chance to step away from art and kind of find other things that I enjoy doing, like cooking or rock climbing, or like lately I found out I really enjoy housework, like cleaning and I told you I don't know if you heard this, but I redid my shower like caulking area.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so things like that. It's like I discover a bit more about myself, and then when I like was tired from doing all that, then I kind of went back to my art and I felt more like refreshed and like I got a great new start. So like in the end, it wasn't a bad thing that I went through that whole that whole thing.
Yeah, sometimes you do need to recharge. You know,
hmm
sometimes you do need to kind of step away from it and experience life a little bit, go do something else.
hmm
Um, but yeah, I feel like a lot of self-reflection is very important for that, as well as when you feel like things are failing. You know, you want to
hmm
think about it like, okay, well, I have a brain. All these other awesome artists, they have a brain. I got eyes. I got at least one that's working, probably, right? And if you are at that point, then yeah, you got the stuff. Okay, you got some hands too. Okay, now it's just a matter of connecting the three together, you know, and just getting that connection to work. Now, this connection will take a while. It's like building
hmm
bridges.
hmm
Just keep at it. Do your exercises. Do your 90-minute workout, right? Start
Yeah.
concentrating on stuff. they're concentrating on getting better. These videos are free. It's very much for you to just brainlessly lift some weights with your brain, some artistic weights with your brain.
Yeah.
And for all the beginner people, let me tell you the environment that you're in and the true environment. Because the environment that you're in is the worst. It's at the bottom. You know, you have doubters, you have haters. They all hang out at the bottom, generally. You know, because they're too fearful or ignorant to try, a lot of times they doubt that you can make it or they hate on you. But, you know, true failure only comes from not trying. So as long as you keep trying and listen to the people that have made it past that bottom area, you know, we all say the same thing. Keep trying, keep working on your stuff. Don't listen to haters that are just being mean to you. You know, look for constructive criticism. And when you learn enough, the world literally has no choice but to notice you if you learn enough. And
Yeah.
did you want to add something to that? Yeah, sorry.
No, I was just thinking when you were saying that, there was one person that popped in my head that I encountered before. It was this person that I used to work with at a restaurant, and he also wanted to pursue art, but I guess it didn't really go his way. And so he was just like talking bad about the industry and the school I went to and just art itself. And I just thought it was really interesting how he was saying all these things. And it's like you were saying, you kind of just have to block them out. You can't let them affect you because yeah, it's just like putting that shutter on, and I just nodded and be like, okay, that's how you feel, but that's not going to stop me from doing what I want to pursue.
And the thing that really sucks is that the time that you're not sure, the time that you're the most fragile, that's the time where you will be encountered with the most doubters, the most haters. Right? Because you haven't proven yourself. You don't have any proof to say, well, no, my idea will work. I've done this and this. You know, I can make a living out of this.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah. It's the worst when it's the people that are closest to you that say that. But I guess it sounds a bit cheesy, but, you know, we believe in you guys who are starting out and who want to pursue art because, you know, we started somewhere as well. And it's not like we were like amazing from the beginning. So even though we don't personally know you, we do believe in people around the world who want to, you know, follow this path. And it's possible. It's doable. You just have to, you know, focus on what you really want to do, what you love, and keep at it.
Totally. There's something about, I feel like there's this invisible barrier between, you know, for somebody trying to get good and get to like a good professional level. There's this invisible barrier where it's like, they feel like, oh, this is, and I went through this. This is, so maybe I'm just talking about me. But I think this pertains to other people. And it was when I was trying hard in the beginning, I wasn't actually trying hard. I just thought I was. I thought that was my limit. But I remember there was a point, and it was after I got hypnotized in college. And afterwards, I asked the hypnosis guy to make me work harder than I've ever worked before. Whether or not he hypnotized me, I was very much into it. I wanted him to hypnotize me. Whether or not he did, I don't know. But I did work the hardest I've ever worked before. And I got to experience what true hard work is. And then that still wasn't hard work, though. That still wasn't real hard work, because when you get into your later years, 30s, 40s, 50s, whatever, I'm assuming 50s and stuff, you start to learn how to work smarter too. So then you realize, oh shoot, yeah, if I was putting in those hours, that effort, and these smarts, then I'm getting much closer to working at my potential, truly working hard. So look for that true kind of gauge of what is true hard work or not, because sometimes you feel like you're running on empty, but as all of us that have driven cars know, when the empty light comes on, you can still drive a heck of a long time, right? It's not really empty. I don't know if I lost everybody there, but you know, it's like when
No,
you're
I
trying
get it.
hard, yeah, you got more potential than that. Usually you have more potential than that. But at the same time, you wanna be sensitive, because some people are just crazy diehard and they will run straight full force into a wall, you know, if somebody told them to. So I'm just saying, the majority of people. Now, for the true diehard people out there, chill out. Relax. You're going too strong.
Yeah. To find balance.
Definitely. All right, we have a little bit over 20 minutes left before the stream is over and the promo code expires. And the promo code, ChooStream10, gets you 10% on Schoolism subscriptions, 10% off. Yuchi asks, what is your favorite movie or movies and why?
I really enjoyed Parasite. Did you watch that, right?
Yeah.
That was. I think that's my favorite right now.
I didn't like it.
Really? Oh.
Everybody's gonna hate me, but let me explain why.
I'm very curious because like I think I just have my point of view.
Yeah.
I want to see what other people who think on the other side.
Yeah, I was highly disappointed.
Was it because it was hyped?
Because I knew nothing about the movie. If it's a movie I know I'm gonna watch, I don't want to know anything about the movie. I just want to watch it. And so, you know, they go into the basement, they find a secret room, whatever. I'm constantly thinking, this is where the parasite creature is gonna come out.
You thought it was like a sci-fi
Yeah.
kind of. I see.
And then I kept waiting for this giant parasite creature to
That's
come out
so
or whatever.
funny.
Yeah. So then by the end of it, my exact feeling was, oh, I get it. Wow, I really highly respect this movie. And I'm highly disappointed that there's no sci-fi creature.
That's but, I see. Like disappointed in that sort of way.
Yeah.
So when you watch movies, do you generally not want to know anything about it, or like you want a general idea of like what kind of movie it is? Because when I watch movies, I have the general gist of like what genre it is, and then I just try not to know anything more about it.
Well, usually if it's to pique my interest, then I need to know a little something about it. But if I could just have, I don't know, some sort of filter where it's like, okay, yeah, you'll like all these movies, I wouldn't want to know anything about them. Yeah. I think about that story. There's like this story about when they screened Back to the Future for people, like early screening to test the audience. They didn't tell the audience anything about this movie, and then everybody watched Back to the Future for the first time, how cool of an experience that would be.
Especially during those times too.
Yeah. They thought when the dog went back and went in the car and disappeared, they thought the dog died.
Yeah.
That's the version I heard. Like a lot of people thought the dog died. They didn't know that he went back into the future. But then when it came back, then it's like, oh, cool, this is awesome.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Do you have one, or do you have a movie where you wish you don't remember anything about it and you can rewatch it like with a fresh mind?
Yeah, one of the best theatrical experiences I ever had, and you think of your own as well.
Okay.
The Matrix. Without knowing anything about what this movie was, I so
Yeah.
appreciated the fact that all the marketing for Matrix was like, what is the Matrix? It cannot be explained to you. You have to experience it, or something like that, you know? And it wouldn't tell me anything. And then I watched
Yeah.
it. I was not excited to watch it because I literally watched it going, well, this is the last um whatever. This is the last movie in the theater that I haven't watched. So I watched it
Uh-huh.
on like a cheap day.
Yeah.
Came out of that thing just mind blown. Just blown. Just going,
Mhm.
what's real anymore? Oh my gosh, this is amazing.
Yeah. I mean, it's also great to rewatch movies, but then I just miss that feeling of the like like the you just go crazy inside your mind after you watch a really good movie.
All the early Pixar movies did that for me.
Yeah, I think
Every
Up
time.
is
Yeah.
one where I wish
Oh,
I could rewatch it with a fresh mind. I would bawl my eyes out again.
oh. Ratatouille. Oh my goodness, right?
hmm
The
Yeah.
Incredibles. When I came out of that, I was depressed. I had this depression come over me, just going, oh, now the mountain just all of a sudden grew like twice as high. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like I'm trying to climb this thing. I'm trying to get there so I could party with everybody, and then Pixar does this movie, and it's just like, oh, now the bar is so much higher.
hmm Yeah. I mean, it's good that it's very high.
Hmm. A lot of those Marvel movies, right? When it starts to get real epic, and they start to form and come together, that also gave me this experience. Like not as much, I would say,
Mhm. Yeah.
because the story of Matrix was insane. It's just insane. But seeing all the visuals for a lot of those Marvel movies, I was like, oh my god, that's amazing.
hmm Yeah. If only there was like a switch where you can just like remove that one memory just to relive it.
You just pop it in every time you're chilling out.
Yeah.
Like
I'd be like, oh
your favorite
yeah.
DVD or whatever, Blu-ray.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Like
funny.
Black Mirror
Uh,
stuff right there.
Hello, Bobby.
Hey,
Hi, Kofi.
I wanted to ask, have either of you watched Over the Moon?
Oh, I watched it.
yes,
I watched it on Friday, I think.
What
yes.
was your opinion?
So I'll give you, or say you want to go first?
Sure. I'm actually kind of very curious to hear your opinion, Bobby, just because it touches on Chinese culture.
Yeah.
Um, I I liked it. I didn't necessarily love it, but I liked just this. I guess certain story parts. I didn't, you know, think it was like amazing or original, but I did appreciate the designs of the characters, the lighting, the animation, all that part of the movie. I think sorry, excuse me. I think what threw me off a bit was the musical part, but other than that, everything was great. I do like how it was all Asian cast as well.
Hmm. Yeah. So when I before watching it, I was a little concerned about a couple of things. First, love Glenn Keane, one of my heroes. Actually, was lucky enough to spend some time with him a few years ago, doing some talks at SCAD in Savannah. So yeah, love the guy. Think he has a heart of gold. Very, very nice person. But this is the age where you do not want to mess up somebody else's culture, right? We're highly
Yeah.
sensitive at this point. Mulan already
Right.
took a beating, backlash, big time,
Uh-huh.
and so I knew who the character designers are: Brittany Myers, Glenn Keane, Jin Kim.
Mhm.
None of them are Chinese,
Yeah, I did notice that too.
right? Which is fine. They don't need to
Uh-huh.
be Chinese, but
Mm-mm.
please represent us right.
Mm-hmm.
And I liked it. I really did. I thought they did an amazing job. Um, I thought the costumes for the Woman in the Moon, wonderful, fantastic,
Yeah.
very cool, very, very cool. Um, yeah, Mooncakes. I would have loved for the movie to come out during the Moon Festival, which was a couple of weeks ago. That would have been nice to watch it with my family and such.
Mm-hmm.
The reason to go to the moon, I felt, was it didn't really click with me completely. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like her whole reason, you gotta have a real good reason to risk your life trying to shoot yourself up, to the moon. That's all. But
Yeah.
otherwise, I thought it was a great ride. I think kids will love it. That's who it's there for.
Yeah.
I really
I
appreciate it.
do. I like the fact that they didn't really make a bad guy.
Yes, there's no
There wasn't
bad
like a
guy.
define. Yeah. But the story still, like, it went on.
It's
And
hard to do that.
hmm so I think that's where I was like, oh, that was kind of nice. It was refreshing because I think most of the time there's like a clear good guy, clear bad guy.
I liked all the secondary characters, their designs
Yes.
even more, I think.
hmm Yeah.
They were
I
so on
did
point.
enjoy the family members
Hmm.
because there's a few where I was like, oh, that looks like my friend.
Oh, yeah.
It's like I know someone who looks like that.
The little brother kind of reminded me of Ben, my brother.
Yeah,
A little bit.
he has a
Him
great design.
with my energy, I think, because he's always trying to run through walls and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Overall, I like the movie. It's just it wouldn't fall under the top for me.
Yeah. Yeah, but I really, really appreciated the aesthetics of the film. Um,
Hmm
it felt like it was doing it right. It was really taking the culture and not just maybe. Oh well, there's this Cambodian thing. I would love to. I think that looks cool. I'm gonna put it onto this Chinese character or something. That's when people are like, no, that's not cool.
hmm Sorry, this is on a slight tangent, but I think one of my pet peeves is like, so I love when I see people do Japanese inspired paintings and character design, because it's kind of like sharing the culture, letting people know more about it. I think
Hmm.
one thing is I wish some people did a bit more research because subtle things like, let's just say a kimono, the way the one side folds over the other matters because if so the way it's supposed to be is the right side goes under, then the left side folds on top. But if it's
Hmm.
the opposite, that actually is for people who passed away.
Mm.
Yeah, so I think subtle things like that, as my culture, I'm slightly offended, not necessarily mad. It's just I wish some people did a bit more research on things like that.
Well, big shout out to Shannon Tyndall, right? That did Kubo and the Two Strings. He actually bought a kimono,
Yeah.
you know, to figure out
awesome.
exactly how it all works.
Yeah.
Not only
It's
that,
like
but he can speak a good deal of Japanese. Like he learned Japanese as well.
that's really cool.
Yeah. All the respect in the world.
So yeah, definitely a sensitive time, especially when it touches on like cultures.
Hey, for all those hardcore people out there that have stuck with us with 10 minutes to go, I figured I'll show them that thing that I showed you, Masay.
Yes.
Taking Japanese culture and putting your own spin on it. So here's something I've been working on just for kicks. I did on the weekend. So I was watching this show because it just, it got put on Netflix, right? One Punch Man, so funny. So I couldn't help it but to do some fan art. And I think what I could do here is kind of just peel away some of the pieces here so you can see how I went about it. So that's a little color layer because it's so orangey all around. This guy, I just kept painting. Sorry, I should have kept some layers. And then you can see it's just a few adjustments. This is how I generally tackle things if it's just for myself, right? You got the little blurry creatures there. And then that's it, the background. So not much of a tutorial here, but could be interesting. Could be interesting for people. It was fun to paint, though. I could tell you that.
Yeah.
So much fun. I was laughing as I was painting.
Yeah, it's very fitting for this month because it's October.
Yeah, right? My Halloween costume.
Yeah, your Halloween costume. I think that should be a thing because people can't, go out this year. They should just paint themselves in their own costumes.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
That'd be funny. Yeah, we're gonna also do a Halloween thing on Discord, on the Lightbox Expo Discord, this Friday. So you could come join in with us and paint with us. There's gonna be all sorts of fun things that we'll be doing, and you'll be hearing a lot about it, I guess, towards the end of today or tomorrow, big time.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good one.
Yeah. So we've redeemed ourselves. Look at our paintings now. It's almost done.
Yeah.
Pulled it together in the end.
Good.
Another tough thing about this was the fact, like, that the person's eyes are crooked. That was very tough for me. I don't know if we could talk about that a little bit because obviously we don't want to offend anybody, right? So it was like getting that very accurate was very important to me as well.
Yeah, that was pretty challenging.
Your hat looks better though, I have to say. Like you got the little black words in there as well, suggestions of that. I completely forgot. This is panic mode for me. I got, just a few minutes left.
Yeah. Like scrambling to put something down.
Yeah.
I think it's very specific, but my favorite part about your painting is the little crease in that finger.
Oh.
It's like you can just feel the wrinkliness of his hand and the direction of like where it's going.
Yeah, that was, I totally remember that, and it was really the high opacity, low contrast that really sold that,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because there's not harsh lines in there in the hand, um, to show it, to show the wrinkles. It's a much more kind of subtler contrast of tones, but they're very distinct,
Mm-hmm.
right? You can
Mm-hmm.
really see them very easily. So that called for a high density, high flow. Yeah.
And I think you already established that like a while ago too. So when I saw it, I'm like, oh man, I wish my hands looked as good. I'm all about the hands today.
Oh, awesome. Well, feeling is mutual. I could tell you, feeling's mutual. It's really, I can't say enough about how positive it's been for me to paint with you.
Ah, same. It's always motivating.
Yeah, and by doing this on a schedule, like regularly, it forces me to make meetings outside of our painting time, which is, very, very beneficial.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Yeah. I don't know if you
Yeah.
noticed, but my calendar now, I'm like every Friday, I'm like no appointments. I'm just forcing it. And it
Oh, nice.
works. Yeah, it works.
Yeah.
It's been a few
You
weeks
reserve
now.
that time for painting or just like
Painting,
your
yeah.
own time? Mm,
Just painting. I really currently I'm hugely obsessed. Hugely obsessed with painting. Like I've been just, getting up thinking about painting. No alarm clock. It's still dark. It's hard to get up by yourself when it's still dark with no alarm clock.
yeah,
But it's really just been like the excitement for me to do some paintings or whatever that's been getting me up.
that's awesome. I like that feeling when you're so excited to do something or go somewhere and you just
Yeah.
wake up on your own. It's like feeling like a kid again when you knew there was like a field trip for school and you wake up and you're like, oh, it's the day.
Especially doing this One Punch Man thing. I was getting up all the
Yeah.
time. It was so funny.
I love that one. It's so funny because that character is actually based on a children's superhero called Anpanman, which is like I don't know if you know it, it's like the dude with the bread, like the red bean paste bread head.
No.
Yeah. And so it's like the exact same color concept, it's just it's flipped.
Oh, wow.
So and like, because he's a bun, he's bald as well. So I think that's why they made the character bald. But anyway, sorry.
That's awesome.
Another tangent.
So his whole baldness derives from that.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
That is so funny.
Yeah, it's one of those animes or comic or mangas that is like a parody of a bunch of other animes and mangas.
I just think it's like the thing that really got me to watch the show was that it was like this person has no weakness. It's just super. How do you make a story like that? Because like in Western thinking, you generally think, okay, this person needs a weakness, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
But then there's two shows that I could think of where it's like the person has no weakness. It's like this One Punch Man. I don't know. I've only seen the first season, so don't ruin nothing for me. But
Yeah.
and then the other one is uh, the cook from Food Wars. Doesn't really have a
Yeah.
weakness. They just keep winning.
Yeah.
They just keep
Yeah.
defeating people. But
Yeah.
you're still engaged.
Hmm.
So it's kind of fun. It's kind of interesting. That's what really got me to start watching it, and then I watched the whole first season. I hope you're proud of me because there's no subtitles, or there's only subtitles. And generally, I'm kind of watching something while painting and drawing, or whatever.
Yeah.
This one, I would just sit down, I just watch them.
Yeah, reading the subtitles. Like I guess I'm very lucky to just sit and listen because I understand. But
Yeah,
that's a lot of work and like time out of your day to just watch something and read the subtitles.
it's so funny.
I
It's nice to,
appreciate.
yeah, I feel
the
like there's a lot of these things where it's like, you're saying before, oh, what's something that you wish you could watch for the first time again?
Mhm.
There are so many animes where it's like, I'm like that. Like I watched Naruto for the first time like
Mhm.
a couple months ago.
Mhm.
I wasn't too into it. I'm sorry. I hope nobody hates me, but I wasn't too into it. Um, what else was there? I want to watch Seven Deadly Sins. Have you watched that? I've heard good things.
That was interesting. I haven't watched the recent season, but uh, it was hard to get into in the beginning because it was a bit different for me.
I have no idea what it's about. I have zero. I have no idea what one of those sins are. But I've heard a bunch about it. I
Hmm.
haven't seen Fist of the North Star, which is a pretty cult, big cult classic. Um,
Oh, yes, I've heard of that one.
I've never seen fully Kiki's Delivery Service, which is a sin, but I need to see that too.
Oh, that's a good one. I'm actually. Have you watched Howl's Moving Castle?
Not the full thing. Oh my
Uh,
gosh.
that's probably one of my favorites. But I'm actually reading the novel right now because it was based off a book.
Mm,
But it's very different. It's interesting to see how Miyazaki interpreted it and kind of added a slight twist to it. Obviously, following the same story, same characters, but just a different um, way of presenting things.
definitely. Um, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
running out of things to watch, by the way. Uh,
Oh, there's so many
yeah, but I
good
heard
things.
Mandalorian's coming out in less than a week.
Oh, yeah. Is that the new season or?
Yeah, season two, I guess.
Yeah, I haven't watched it. I remember you were saying really good things about that.
I really, yeah, well, everybody likes Baby Yoda, but the thing that excites me the most is how they make that show.
Hmm.
Because they don't do green screen, right? They
Oh.
have what's called the volume, where it's like you're surrounded by LCD uh, monitors, like in a cylindrical fashion,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
So everywhere you look, it's like it's a screen, and it's
Oh.
seamless.
Whoa. That's
Something
so
like that.
weird.
That's what it looks like,
Yeah.
in some of the videos I've seen. So they actually
Yeah.
act, it's like, okay, let's turn on the desert. And all of a sudden they are acting in the desert kind of thing, right?
That's so cool. Is that the new norm now? Or is that like
I don't think it's
specifically
the new
for that?
norm yet, but
That's a
Mhm.
brand new technology.
right, right. Who's this?
Oh,
PA Illustrator.
Hey, PA Illustrator.
PA.
hi.
Yeah, no, it's. I'm thinking I need to change my name or something. It doesn't roll off the tongue.
No, no. Yeah, well, it looks awesome.
It
Like I could,
That's
actually uses
cool.
Unreal Engine 4.
yes, yes. And it's about time they start using Unreal or
And photogrammetry as well. So they scan actual environments and
Oh,
use the photo textures. Just place them right on.
wow.
that's awesome.
That's
And
so cool.
What do
It's like
you
the
what do you do,
future.
by the way?
I am just a freelance illustrator, graphic designer, and I'm starting to get into animation now as well.
Awesome. Oh yeah,
Thanks for chiming in.
yeah, totally.
Hmm.
That's so cool. That must be cool for the actors as well because they get to actually immerse themselves even further.
Yeah, no, they can see it all, and it's kind of it harkens back to old ways of filming in that they just had a lot of projector screens and a lot of scenes where they were like traveling and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Mm.
Whoa. That'd be cool to see the whole set.
Hmm. I think have you ever heard of the YouTube channel Corridor Crew?
No, I haven't.
No.
They do a really good job they do their own CGI effects, but then they also have on all kinds of other well-known CGI artists and also stunt performers. And they talk about how different movies, TV shows, and even video games are made, and they show all the behind-the-scenes stuff. And they did something specifically for The Mandalorian where they were invited onto the set so they could, show the whole behind-the-scenes process.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That sounds awesome.
Oh, okay. I've come across one of their videos before. The VFX artists react to.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've watched their channel as well. It's very cool. And
Cool.
actually, I don't know how to segue this, but we're done. And there's the paintings that we did, that Masay and I did. Real time, 90-minute art challenge. I hope everybody had a great time doing the challenge. I know I did. And we're going to be doing this again, right, Masay?
Yep. On Thursday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time.